Welcome back to the Morning Blend. He was one of the most iconic presidents in our nation's history whose time in the White House was cut tragically short. Now you have the chance to see authentic John F. Kennedy artifacts right here in Vegas.
That's right. And here with more is James Warlick, producer of the JFK Exhibition. Morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Good morning.
So how's it going over there at the Trop?
It's going great. We've had good crowds. Everyone loves the show when they leave. They share with us their memories of that day, November 22nd, 1963. And it brings back that whole Camelot period for a lot of people.
Why do you think people are so intrigued with the artifacts from that particular president versus any other president?
Well, I think John Kennedy and Jackie, they did represent this Camelot aura and feeling and the hope of what he could be as president, and just worldwide they are admired. We have a lot of foreign tourists. And John Kennedy is the president that they love the most of American presidents.
So you have all these amazing artifacts. How does one go about starting a collection like this?
Well, I started collecting political items when I was a kid, political buttons, and then I also own the White House gift store in Washington, D.C., and a presidential gallery there. And so it just got bigger and obsessively collecting. And John Kennedy was my favorite. I remember that day myself. I was in the 6th grade. That Friday afternoon when we heard it, and so I focused really on John Kennedy items, and so these, we have just a few here today, but a lot at the show. We have the last automobile they rode in Fort Worth that morning. We have here the telephone, the last telephone call that he made from the hotel room in Fort Worth. We have his White House limousine that stayed in Washington, didn't travel like the other ones. We have an Oval Office full size. People can come in and they can have their photo made in the Oval Office. Other Jackie items, one of her bathing suits and a pair of her shoes here today that she wore on her Paris trip.
What is the most expensive item that you purchased?
The Kennedy limousine.
And how much was that?
Wow.
Oh,
a lot.
He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to talk about it.
Do you ever plan on selling it?
I haven't told my wife how much I paid for it.
Do you ever plan on selling any of your items?
Actually, what I'd like to do
there it is, the picture.
Is to give them to a museum somewhere if I can do that, and so they'll be seen. The 2 cars that I bought had been in a garage for 10 years. The bathing suit had been locked up for years. So I buy things not so much to sell them in the future for value, but to show them and distribute them around the country so people can see them.
That was the right answer, James.
We just saw Air Force One. What is the significance of that for you?
Well, that that airplane was really only outfitted the way it was that we have it now for 6 months, 3 months or so before President Kennedy was killed, and then Johnson changed it. So, and that airplane was used, actually, even Bill Clinton flew on that airplane.
Do you own the airplane now?
No, this airplane it was a Hollywood set.
Okay.
We bought it, and then we changed the inside just the way it was the day that Kennedy's body was flown back to Washington, D.C.
So there's a full Air Force One exhibit?
There is. At the, we have the airplane, you walk through, we have the audio of the conversations between the White House and the Air Force One, telling them that they're going to be bringing the president back to the airplane. And then the phone call from Lyndon Johnson to Kennedy's mother that we play that he made while on Air Force One.
The planning and the execution must have taken you quite some time to get this all together.
It's taken about 15 years to pull it together. It was more, I opened a presidential museum in Branson, Missouri. A lot of people wanted me to take it on the road, so we closed that, so we just travel with it now. So we've been on the West Coast. We were in San Diego for the Del Mar Fair, and then we'll probably, right now, we're looking at going to Canada for a 5-city tour.
Wow. So, okay, we have the Jackie's slippers here. What else?
What size feet was she? I just want to know.
I don't know anything about women's size.
Try them on, Dal.
We'll see. I think
they're
maybe it's 7 or 8. I don't know. I can't tell. They're very slim.
Yes.
Very cute.
Yeah, what else you got here?
We have President Kennedy's brush that was used on him as a young boy, and his son John. We have his shaving razor that was found in the embassy in Britain years later that he left when he was there, when his father was ambassador. We have the telephone again that was used by President Kennedy. And interestingly, we have copies of the newspaper here. A lot of people don't know this, but the Sun, a newspaper, burned down the day before the assassination. And the Review-Journal printed the newspaper for them. So we have the copy of the front side and then the other side of when the newspaper burned down. And then they started having it printed in Los Angeles and flown over every day.
Wow.
Now, we mentioned you're over at the Tropicana. What are your hours?
We're open at 10 in the morning until 10 at night. We're closing early New Year's Eve around 4 o'clock, and then we'll be back open on Friday until 10 o'clock. We close Friday night.
We have a special offer?
Yes,
going on?
for first responders, for veterans, senior citizens is $5 off, and locals. And all children under the age of 18 get in free.
Well, thank you so much. What an intriguing
Thanks, James.
exhibit
Great.
you have.
Good to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
JFK Exhibition is at the Tropicana Hotel and Casino. It runs through Friday from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. For tickets and more information, call the number or check out the website on your screen.